Hello, this is Todd from TT Bike Fit. Wanted to do a quick analysis of a couple of features of Jens Voigt's hour record TT position. Certainly a very aggressive position, something that certainly if you're a triathlete, you're not going to want to try this type of a position. And if you're a time trialist, it's going to take some work for most people to get to this type of position, and in reality, most people are unlikely to be able to maintain a position like this. So I got a bunch of lines drawn on here. What's important, a few things I was just interested in looking at is, what is his approximate effective seat angle? Where are his sit bones? He's somewhere in the 79 to 80 degree range, so very much in common with the typical forward triathlete seating position. You can see he's pulled forward a good bit on the saddle here, maybe 8 centimeters or so on the saddle. Puts his thigh, essentially puts his femur at an angle of about 20 degrees at the top of the pedal stroke, and he's got the range of motion to handle this very tight hip angle between the 20-degree thigh and the essentially dead level torso. And that's evidenced by the fact that he's got his foot is not dorsiflexed at the top of the pedal stroke, so we don't see any kind of compression occurring across the top of the pedal stroke, indicating that he's hitting the limit of his hip angle ability. With the extreme amount of drop he's using here relative to his size, I estimate it's about 19 centimeters. Maybe they've published this somewhere, I don't know, but I'm estimating from the video it's a neighborhood of 19 centimeters. See how far below his knee bend at the high point of the pedal stroke, how far below that his elbow rests, and that's a sure sign of an extremely aggressive position. Again, 19, maybe 20 centimeters of drop from the saddle down to the armrest. So besides, putting essentially him into a level torso position, I'll move those so we can see that essentially the front of his torso is dead level. It's that effectively, so the torso effectively stops at a 0-degree point, but this additional amount of drop is pulling his shoulders down and forward. The reach is also relatively extended too. So, running off of a position like this, if you're a triathlete, would be very difficult, because this is a relatively high stress position. It's set up to be as aerodynamic as possible, and it certainly appears to have been effective at that. We look at where his shoulder is relative to his hip and the top of the pedal stroke. Let me get rid of some of these lines if I can. Just get rid of all of them. At the top of the pedal stroke here, you basically have shoulder in line with the flexion point in the hip there, and check that out on your own position. You'll see that that's extremely low shoulder position. He puts his head below the high point in his back. Interesting choice of helmet here, but I think they figured that he's going to be looking down most of the time, and so therefore a tailed helmet would be sticking up quite a bit and probably be less aero than this helmet. So they chose essentially a tailless helmet. Just to do a comparison with what I consider a very nice aggressive TT position on the road, David Miller here from 2012, I believe, actually 2011. You notice he's not using nearly as much drop. If we look at the position of his elbow relative to his knee, his knee's not coming up quite as high. He's probably about a 23 versus a 19 here, but you notice the differential there versus the differential here. And you also notice the position of the shoulder relative to the flexion point in the hip there. So, not nearly as aggressive, still obviously a very effective arrow position, but the reason I'm making this comparison is to show, just how aggressive Jens's position was for this hour attempt. And, he surely looked like it wasn't causing him any problems at all. Certainly, obviously, the result was good, and his pedaling looked smooth the whole time. He didn't stand up till, right near the end, and for him, it worked quite well. If you're a triathlete, don't try to emulate it.